The issue of immigration has taken centre stage for British voters and political parties. Net immigration has spiked in recent years under the post-Brexit system. Political leaders are trying to boost nominal economic growth. At this weekend's Reform Party conference, the leader, Nigel Farage, says curbing entries would be a priority for him.
We will stop the boats and we will detain and deport those who illegally break into our country, doing what nearly every normal country around the rest of the world does. You cannot come here illegally and stay. We will stop the boats within 2 weeks of winning government.
With me is Lord Michael Heseltine, a former UK Deputy Prime Minister, statesman of the United Kingdom. He's the author of From Acorns to Oaks, An Urgent Agenda to Rebuild Britain. His Lordship's with me. Michael Heseltine, this is the second book, in a sense. I've interviewed an author where we've got a member of the Tory party, the other one was Sir Jeremy Hunt, but basically saying we must get back to greatness, make Britain great again, or some version thereof. But what is your message when you see people like Nigel Farage and Reform seemingly riding this bandwagon of immigration?
Well, of course, we've seen it all before. We saw Mosley and the Jews in the 30s. We saw Enoch Powell and the blacks in the 60s. It's the oldest trick in the world to pander to people's basic insecurity. And if you've got an economic problem, which we have, then, of course, people want change, and you start offering them phony deals and emotional reactions. It's very frightening.
The big difference, I think, of course, is that now there is Donald Trump in the White House, who has been successful at the ballot box with many of these policies, and it is encouraging others to do the same.
Well, Boris Johnson was successful with these policies, and as you say, Donald Trump. The issue is whether they're right policies and whether they last. And my guess is that you will see that the Democratic Party will make significant advance in the midterm of the elections because Trump is causing a lot of uncertainty in the world and creating problems. At the same time, allowing a sort of drift in the Ukraine to continue.
On looking at the book, I was really taken by you're talking here about the importance of industrial strategy.
Yes.
Of course, industrial strategy and industrial policy is a very 1960s idea in a sense. Labour and Harold Wilson, but it has again and again come back in different guise. With Donald Trump, we have a tariff policy. He's invested in NVIDIA. He's investing in Intel. This looks like an industrial policy of sorts. Does Europe need to do the same?
Well, certainly Europe does need to do the same because if you look at the size of the nation states that make up Europe, none of them can match anywhere near what China and America and one day India are doing. And I spent quite a lot of my early life trying to create European fora in order to match the scale that the world competition offers. We created the European Space Agency. I signed the Typhoon deal, which is the biggest aerospace deal that Britain has ever done. And it's an absolute tragedy that Brexit is now having a debilitating effect on this country. And the quicker it's put right, the better.
But it's not going to be. There's not going to be a reversal on Brexit.
Oh, yes, there is. Oh, most certainly. It's only a question of when, not if.
All right, the when is going to be a long time off.
It depends on the economics. If they continue to cause the same problem now, and with a younger generation coming into the electorate, I think that you can see the opinion polls, for example, now already are in favour of rejoining Europe.
Except if I look at Europe, it's not, when I say split, the ability for Europe to take decisions is just as difficult as it always was. Hungary on one side, Slovakia, you've got the northern Baltic countries. They can't agree on things like Ukraine.
I think you've missed the key point. We always fail to take decisions except one, how to fight each other. And what the European movement has achieved in my lifetime is to create the rule of law across Europe and a unified capability to take decisions. It has been a huge improvement.
Do you think Europe should stand up more to the United States on things like the tariff issue, where the view is that Ursula von der Leyen basically rolled over?
Well, I think that Europe needs to be strong enough to stand its own corner, whatever the circumstances. And separate nation states cannot do that. And so there's a lesson to be learned. And I believe myself that, frankly, the deception of Brexit has exposed Britain as a lonely person sitting outside the conference table.
Is the Tory party electable? After the Liz Truss...
No, the Tory party is the most successful political party in the history of democracy. Now, it may be having its difficulties at the moment, but it understands the hunger for power. It will be back.
You say that, but after the Liz Truss fiasco, why would anybody trust the Conservatives again?
The Conservatives have been through difficult times. Look at 1945. It looked incredible. Even Churchill couldn't save them from the memories of the 30s. What happened? They came back. And that is because the Tory party understands the nature of power and how, in the end, you have to achieve it. And the key thing the Tory party always recognises in the end is that you have to provide a balance between left and right. You have to appeal to the centre ground as well as the more extreme ground. And they've always found a way of doing that.
Your Lordship, honoured to have you on the programme tonight, sir. Thank you very much indeed.